Hey Splashes, welcome back to the channel. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping by. My name is Prudence, and in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to draft a perfect corset, a 3-piece corset and a 2-piece corset, all in this video. So if this is what you're interested in, hit the subscribe button and let's dive in. So first things first, we are going to rule out our start line where we'll begin all our measurements from. As you can see, I'm making use of a pen. This edge here would be on a fold. Okay, so from length to my bust point is 9.5. That's what I'm marking at both ends to ensure it is straight, and I'm going to connect this together. Next is my shoulder to under bust, which I have as 13 inches. So that's what I'm marking at both ends, and I'm going to be connecting these two lines together. The next thing we are going to do is to mark our half length, or probably your full length if it's a top, and connect together. Take note that I'm not adding any allowances to these measurements. This is my bust point, this is my under bust point, and this is my waist, or you can call this your length or your half length, whatever you choose to name this. So next, I'll go towards the side by 3, and the depth will be 3 for the neckline. This is like the standard neckline. I'm also going to mark 3 inches horizontally and connect this to form a square. You can go ahead to curve this directly, but I choose to do it this way just to explore. So you curve it this way. Next, you want to measure your shoulder. I have 16 divided by 2 is 8. So from that point, I'll come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope and connect to the end of the neckline there. The next thing we're going to do is to get our armhole. So your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5 is what you will mark below that slope there. I've went ahead to add a dot there and at the end there just to ensure that it is straight, and connect these two lines together. Next thing we are going to do, so this is our chest line, right? So I'm just taking what I have at the shoulder there on the chest line too, so that I'll have a straight measurement, because I'll be aligning these 2 points together this way. So the next thing I want to do is to get a perfect armhole. So divide what you have there by 2. You can as well fold your tape into this way if you do not want to crack your brain. So that's the point there. We'll go in there by 0.75 inches. Okay, that's less than 1 inch but more than ½ inch. Okay, so that is to give it the perfect sitting. So connect from your shoulder line to that point there, that depth there, and from that point there you also connect it to meet with your chest line. So the next thing is our bust point measurement divided by 2. Mine is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So I have marked it at the waistline there, also at the bust point there, and I'm going to be connecting these 2 points using a straight ruler. So what we are trying to do is to create a dot, right? So come down by 1 inch before connecting the dot, and at the end there, go in or go out by ½ inch on both ends. That's a total of 1 inch. So I want to connect this point to meet with that point under the bust point there. Remember, I came down by 1 inch. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to divide what we have left for our shoulder by 2, subtracting the neckline. Okay, that neckline there will not be part of the measurements. You can also fold your tape in 2. So that's the midpoint. I'll connect it with my bust point there. As you can see, this is not a straight line. Okay, so connect these 2 lines together and you have this. So the next thing I want to do is to go out by ½ inch on both ends after our dart legs on the under bust area. Just take note of what I am doing. So we are going to connect this point now to meet with our waistline there, the dart leg at the waistline there. We are going to connect it in a straight way. Okay, so after connecting it, the next thing we're going to do is to come in with our curve ruler and connect these 2 points. Okay, from our under bust there, we are connecting that line to meet with what we had after coming down by 1 inch from the bust point. So we are covering both ends. As you can see, it is not a straight line. The next thing we are going to do is to measure what we have from our bust point to our under bust area. Okay, mine is about 3.5, so we are going to mark this all round to form a circle. As you can see, I'm using the dotted lines, then connecting these lines together. So we are not done yet. This is just like a guideline for us. So for the dart at this under bust area, I have 1.5, so I'll share it towards the center front and the side front. Okay, I'll go in by ½ inch on that center front area and go out by 1 inch on that side part. This is because our bust is fuller towards the side, so we'll connect this to meet with our bust point on both ends. I'm using a big for now because we are also going to tighten this bust. What we have just done is replacing the under bust dart to the above bust, but what I'm about to do now is to do my above bust tightening. So I'll go in by 0.25 inch, that's less than ½ an inch and not up to 1 inch. So connect from that point to meet with your bust point in a curved form, as you can see. Also at the other part, we'll connect it to the bust point there and just blend this in. So we're making progress, so those lines will not be useful anymore. The next thing we are going to do is to go in by 0.25, so that by the time we open this up, it is going to be ½ an inch. You know, for your corsets, they don't just start from the middle. There's a little space in between, so you can choose to make this bigger. If you want it to be a 1 inch space, you can mark out ½ inches instead of this 0.25. So I'm coming down from the chest line by 1 inch because I don't want it to be so exposed. So if you want it to be more exposed, you go down more, and if you want it to be more covered, you go above the chest line. So I'm connecting from that point to meet with this line here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to connect from this under bust to meet with that line there. As you can see, make sure this curve sits properly. As you can see, we've just done that. We don't need this line over here. So the next thing, we are going to divide what we have left on this our armhole area by 2 and come down by ½ an inch. Rule a straight line. The next thing we are going to do is to connect these 2 points using a curve. You can also take from the middle of your bust to the end to see the measurement you can use to curve it out, or you use this method I just used and then connect it from your under bust to meet with that line there. I went past that line. Would have stopped here, so you want to stop there also. I'll connect from here to this part using a curved ruler. So just follow this step I'm using. So we are done curving this out. I'll just cancel that upper part because it was a mistake. So the next thing we are going to do, I'm just going to extend these lines, okay, in case our measurements gets past there. So fixing your best measurements at this chest line here, that is your bust divided by 4. That's where I had it to be. So measure what you have as the darts on that chest line and replace it. We want to always replace our darts. Then add your sewing allowance if you wish. So I'm using ½ inch sewing allowance. You can use more than that. Fixing your under bust measurement. Also take the dart you have there, measure what you have there, and also replace it. Don't forget to replace your dart. After which you add the same number of allowance you added at the chest line there to the under bust. So mine is ½ inch. You can decide to add this allowance when you want to cut. So at the waistline there also, I took my measurement and measure the dart to replace. Take note, the dart as this waist area is not same as the under bust, so you want to also measure it and replace. So we're connecting these lines at the end. Don't connect your actual lines if you added your allowance. Connect from your sewing allowance. So this is what we'll have. I'll just go ahead to label this as our yoke. So if you'll be adding a yoke, you make use of that. So if you're making a 2-piece corset, we are done for the front. But if you want this to be a 3-piece corset, just go from that cup we have there, go down by 2 inches, go at the edge there by 2. You can decide to go down by 2.5 at that middle there. So it depends on your preference. At this other cup, we'll also come down by 2 and the middle there by 2 and connect this using a curved ruler. Remember, I'm not connecting this in a straight form. I'm connecting it in a curved form, as you can see. I'll go ahead to label this as my cup 1 and cup 2 because I'm actually sewing this into a 2-cup corset, but if you are making it a 3 curved corset, you can label the upper part as curve 3. So don't forget to indicate your arrows. Where it's going up, you indicate, and the side you indicate, because after cutting this can be so confusing. So you want to indicate. So I'll be joining these two sides together to form a 3 curved corset. So let's cut this out and see what we'll have. So you want to cut that side together because of the yoke, and you see here I cut it out straight, as you can see. So let's take out that yoke and cut the main pieces. So let's cut this out. This is what we'll have after cutting these out. So you can decide that you want this to be separate or together. I went ahead to retrace these cups because I want to show you how to form a 3 cup corset. That is 1 and 2. I replaced my arrows too. So I'll use this now to show you how to cut a 3 cup corset. So you want to join from that part to that line you have. Okay, I taped this down and I'm going to cut it out, as you can see. So after cutting this out, I'm just going to bring out a fresh pattern paper, place this on top of it, and I'm going to trace it out, trace exactly what I have out, and then cut it out. Okay, I'm just showing you for the purpose of this. If you're cutting it, you might not need to retrace. You can just use what you have to cut it out. Don't forget to indicate with your arrows where it's going up and where it's going down. So that's my cup 3 at the top there. So you see these two parts. Some people might leave it separately, but I like to join it because it eases the work. I use the tape to tape down together to become one piece. So I'll just combine this 3 cup corset for you to see how it looks. I'm going to combine it for you to see how it's going to look by the time you are done. This is quite a difficult process to combine them together, so don't mind the fact that this video looks fast. So this is what we'll have after combining together. You can see how curved it is and how it fits in to our actual borders. So this is the back part. I went ahead to go down by 1 inch as the neck depth because I don't want a deep neck. And this is basically everything you need to know. From the armhole, I went in by 1/2 inch. You know, at the front I went in by 0.75, but we don't want to go in deeply. And this is the dart, just normal. The only thing we have is our length, our armhole area, that's our chest line. And if you want a v-neck, just from that 3 inches width, align it to meet with the end of your chest line there. So we'll be cutting out this part. I didn't add a zipper allowance yet. I'll be adding that when I'm cutting, but you can decide to add it on your pattern paper. So this is our chest line and our waistline. Those are the only 2 measurements we have at the back, and we have our normal dart of 1 inch altogether. So I'm going in by 1/2 inch at that waistline and aligning it to the chest line to avoid zipper bulge. And I labeled this yoke as B, which is back, so as not to confuse me. And I'm also joining these dart legs at the back too, because I want this to be one piece, so as for it to be easy to sew. If you would be adding a yoke, go in by 1.5 inch on the top and the bottom and align these 2 lines together. I'm just folding this in because I don't want to add a yoke. So these are the eyelets if you would be adding a yoke, and you know you have to trim this neckline from here to meet the top part if you would be adding a yoke, because you know you need a space at the back. But for me, I'll be adding a zipper, so I'm going to be bringing this out and cutting out that part I said is for the zipper bulge. So I'll add my zipper allowance at the side there, and this is what we'll have for the front and the back pieces. And that's the cup if you want a 3-piece corset. So I taped this down on a fresh pattern paper and came down by 2 inches. I'm going to be connecting it to the end of the side there. That is how to achieve a back waistline. So you can come down more than that. Check description box for link on how to cut a basic sleeve. Okay, so I cut my sleeves already, and you can see I didn't cut the exact shape of my patterns. That's because I added interface first. Be sure to add your interfacing on your lining and your fabric before cutting out directly. That will ensure accurate transfer of the pieces. So I'll be using this net for the yoke. You want to join your shoulders so it doesn't have a line at that shoulder part. I mistakenly joined this the wrong way, so you want to make sure you're joining the two necklines to each other. I joined my own armhole to neckline, so I'm just going to change that. You see that on the part 2 of this video. So if you enjoyed this video, do well to give it a like and a subscribe. Thank you so much for watching up to this moment. If you enjoyed this video, do well to give it a like and subscribe so that you get to be notified whenever I drop a new video. And the next video I'll be dropping is how I was able to sew this corset I just drafted using my own measurements, so you don't want to miss out on that. Until next time, keep splashing.